So I'm going to be talking about a topic that I feel isn't talked about enough, and that is learning styles and how my learning style is complicated and how it just makes me feel out of place in this world. So what do I mean by learning styles? No, I do not mean like, are you a kinesthetic learner? Are you a observational learner? Are you a visual learner? No, not that. I mean, it's more complex than that. So let me just dive into what my learning style is. So I'll just talk about like a scenario. Let's say you're a kid and you're going to kindergarten for the first time and you're trying to get used to going to being away from your parents, and unfortunately for you it'll take longer than other kids because of who you are or whoever. And so in order for you to do that, you're going to have to like have someone or maybe your parent walk you into school and get used to it one-on-one and just integrate and all that. So how does this relate to my learning style? Well, I basically learn best if it's one-on-one or if I have someone giving me feedback a lot. Because, like people would say like, oh, why you go to college? You could just learn anything on YouTube online. Oh, you just learn from books, just teach yourself. Well, unfortunately, I'm not like that. I wish I could be like that. And I do try to teach myself, but like sometimes it's overwhelming and it just gets really lonely, and I really like some people to help me out with some things, because unfortunately like I'm autistic and I'm not really the best at learning things. I mean, for crying out loud, it took me longer. Well, and I'm still struggling with this nowadays, but it took me longer to just get used to school and just socialize while other kids doing. I mean, seeing people like teach themselves faster just reminds me of like elementary school where people are figuring out faster than I am, and that's just how it all makes me feel. And the fact that one-on-one costs more money, it just makes me feel like my existence is extremely expensive. And how am I supposed to love myself if that's the case? I mean, what am I supposed to do if I want to learn something new? Just exhaust myself? Just go through lots of shutdowns while trying to teach myself in the process? I mean, again, I wish it was not the case, but that's just what my learning style is. Another example is, say I'm in a Discord and I'm only asking about like, how do I draw something like this? And it's a basic question. It's not something complex such as how to plan for your retirement or whatever. But despite that, instead of just giving me the answer right away, people just give me a long list of resources, like of big paragraphs or long YouTube videos. Like they assume that I'm asking a lot of things, even though I'm only asking like one thing. And despite that, like I would, even if I do look at the long list of resources, I still wouldn't get my question answered, because some of these people, they just assume that I'm really good at teaching myself and I just learn by myself. I don't need their feedback or anything, even though I'm just asking this one question. And it's crazy. That's not how I learn, and that's just the way it is. And I also gonna mention that I still need my parents whenever I deal with government stuff. And that's really says a lot. It just the thing about like being self-taught or whatever, it just doesn't really, I don't see how I could relate to this. I don't see how I could become one of the self-teachers. And it just reinforces my belief that we live in a caste system, not meritocracy. Just how the system rewards certain learning styles and financially punishes others. Like if you're good at self-teaching yourself, then basically life is much cheaper for you. You don't have to pay for classes. You don't have to pay for tutors. You don't have to do this and that. But if you're a person who needs feedback, then unfortunately you're gonna have to pay more money for tutors and whatever. Like people preach self-love, how you should not compare yourself to others, how you should not hate yourself. Well, I mean, you're making it hard for people to love themselves in a society like this. I'm just telling you that. Anyways, that's the end of my rant, and that's what I could think of so far. But like, I might make some additional comments about it in the comment section, or like maybe in the description. But yeah, that's just something I really need to get off my chest, because I feel this is not talked about enough, and I see all these like motivational speakers telling people that they shouldn't go to college because they can just teach themselves everything and everything will be all good. It's crazy. Like I just feel like I'm even in some people claim to speak for people who are of the outcasts. I still feel like an outcast when hearing these people. Okay, I mean, all right, then that's my rant, and let me know what you think in the comments below.